Hey everybody, we are live at Wealth Management Edge 2025. I'm Johnny Sandquist.
Torie Happe.
We've got JC Abusaid, the CEO of Halbert Hargrove. Hey, so Money Chronicles, this thing's really all about stripping away the layers and getting to, the man beneath the CEO title. Oh,
Sure.
I'm gonna take us back. We really want to understand, why are you here? Like, how'd you get to this point? What drew you to the wealth management industry in the first place? Like, take us to your origin story a bit.
Sure. I have two sources. I'll start with my first one. My grandparents, especially my grandfather, was a successful stockbroker. He passed away in 1984, and my grandmother thought it would be a good idea for her to take over, to learn and figure it out. And of course, as you know, 1987 came around, Black Monday, and without the deep experience that my grandfather had, she completely panicked and sold everything. And I remember to this date, I feel that took life away from her. She passed away in 89. And I remember how dramatic that was for her, how it changed her life, how she went from being, call it, comfortable to now it's tight. And the words she would use, I was okay, now I'm not okay, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. I remember her keeping $100,000 in a safety deposit box in cash. And what a nightmare that was. And then back in the day, traveler's checks, all that just kind of seared in my brain. Like, what happened? Like,
Right.
this is supposed to be okay, not an issue. And here we are. So that's source number one.
Such a powerful and intimate story. Family, so often I found with conversations, is really what drives advisors to become advisors. They have this story of a grandparent or a parent who had this struggle, and they're like, I want to make sure I help other people avoid that situation.
No, for sure. For sure. And of course it ripples, right?
Yeah.
It just reverberates in the rest of your life. You keep remembering what happens.
Yeah, and I think that brings the human element to our industry. I think we're all really great at talking about what our tech does really great or what our financial service space is doing really well, but we never talk about that human element of why we're all here doing what we do because of those stories like that, right? You're doing it because of how your family reacted to a financial crisis, and you're making sure that your clients don't have that same gut punch reaction to what inevitably will have some sort of financial crisis
Sure.
on the books.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Something's always brewing.
So we always like to ask the question of what was your biggest money mistake and what did you learn from that?
I would say in general, and it goes to a couple of decisions, but it's the idea of you work so hard, you work at being disciplined, at trying to build your career, and opportunities keep coming. So I wish I would have been a little more aggressive earlier in my career at taking risks and making investments. So it wasn't late in my career, but the idea that I had opportunities to become an equity holder, and as I went through my career and I skipped it, or somehow I viewed it as risky, even though I was young and didn't quite understand really what our industry is about, how you take risk early on and how you can afford to do that versus later. So I feel like I took more risks as I got older.
It's not something you hear often in finance. You're like, I should ratchet it up, that risk number.
Yeah.
That's good, though. That's really good advice. We are at Edge, so I'm going to close this out with a themed question. Well, kind of the tagline, I think, for this week is, to find your edge. How are you going to find your edge? And you're running a very successful company. And so I'm curious, what is your edge at Halbert Hargrove? Is it the people? Is it the way that you guys approach investment strategy? How do you guys position yourselves on that leading edge of what you're doing?
Sure. Okay. So it's not about JC, it's about the firm. I definitely think our people are our edge. Our culture is very strong. Are a firm that is employee owned. We've grown it from within. A lot of longevity and everybody at the firm. So I feel we're like I used to call it a family. We've evolved into, I would call it a professional team where we all know we need to support each other. We need to work very hard, but we're not going to spoil you. You have to hold your own and you have to push together. So I would say that's a number one edge.
I love that. And I think too, calling yourself a family and then a professional group after that is really important, right? Because at the end of the day, you guys are all marching towards the same goals, and being able to be really open and honest with each other and having those deep conversations of like what's great for our business, but what's also great for our clients is important too.
Absolutely. We coined, by the way, those conversations you mentioned as fearless conversation, because that's what we found was the secret to evolving from that family. So you have to have these transparent conversations, and they're hard to have sometimes. That's the
Very hard.
state we're in, and especially if you really want to become really good at what you do, you have to have those conversations. You really have to go like, this is not working. We all like that, but we're going to evolve. We're going to break it apart and rebuild and go this way. Or if it's a management issue, you have to just be honest with each other.
Right.
We call those fearless conversations.
I love that. And yeah, having difficult conversations, I mean, that's the way to grow. Just like having difficult situations, being fearless, taking risks. That's the way to do it. So JC, thanks for giving us some insights into who you are, what brought you here, and just what you guys are building at Halbert Hargrove. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you.